Good morning, everybody. It's still morning, just with my friend Chris. That's Southern Chris, not Scotland Chris. We're in the Lake District. No, we're not in the Lake District. We're in the Peak District, and let's see. We really haven't got very much time for you to be. Go on then. Leslie's in the Peak District too. Come on, we really haven't got time. Lassie today. So we're in the Peak District. We're going to be heading up over that way, and we're half thinking about if we can get to the north side across the Lassie across the narrow bit, that we're going to head over and have a look at seal stones and see if we can camp somewhere over there. But it's not a million miles. Nothing up here is that far. It's not like Scotland here, but it's still a little trek. So given that it'll be 12 o'clock in 25 minutes, then hopefully we can get to the bottom of that hill before 12, and then we'll be heading straight up. So we're joining the So we're joining the Pennine Way here. So that's a footpath, so that's no footpath, so you can't go through that way. So this is the only way to go. So you kind of, to get to the point of going up, you kind of got to do a bit of two sides of a triangle, slightly annoyingly, to get to it, but it could be worse. So we should get to the bottom of the hill in a minute, and then it shouldn't take too long. It is steep, but it's kind of like a short steep, so if you don't die of a heart attack halfway up it, then it shouldn't take too long to get to the top. The temperature is around about 2 or 3 degrees, so it's quite cool. There's not a breath of air though. It's very, very still, and there is fog or mist on the tops, and that is unfortunately forecast for the entire day. So I think once we get up there, we will be relying on, well we'll say map and compass, because we'll make ourselves sound professional and posh, like we just used map and compass, but we'll probably be looking at the GPS quite a lot too. So this is a similar area at the moment to where we were last time. Sort of Jacob's Ladder is kind of over that way somewhere, but we're just going to go up that way, which is the way I was going to come down last time, but I came around through those trees, or actually not through the trees, but by the trees. Right, well, we've made it to the top, well, the high part of Broadley Bank Tor. Not that you can see anything in the mist up here, so we'll have to just take a compass bearing. There's a bit of a path that goes that way, but I think one thing you must not do is just think, oh, there's a path going that way, and then blindly follow it thinking that that's the way to go in the mist. You do need to either get your compass out and just sort of just double check, you know, which way you're going, or it's fine to use your phone if you've got you know, Ordnance Survey level of mapping on it. One thing, a little lesson for you all though, if you do the downloading like I do, have to now, although as Chris was saying, if you have the Ordnance Survey Maps app, buy their map, put the code in,
the Explorer range, so OS Explorer.
the OS Explorer map, and then put the code into the OS app, then you've effectively purchased that map.
A downloadable part to it, so it's to scratch off, it reveals a code, so you don't have to pay for an app, so you just
so you don't pay anything to the app at all?
You just register,
right,
you know, via whatever search engine, Safari for me on the iPhone, and then so I'll get on there and I put in the code that came with the purchase map from Cotswold or LSB or whoever, or from themselves through the post, and then you can download it and then use it offline.
Right,
so
okay.
Need any signal.
So you don't have to pay for the app or anything like that. So you don't have to pay like a yearly subscription or anything.
So I think for this one, for Dark Peak, this OS, it's a small number. I think 5. I don't know what the number of the Macs. They're all numbered, aren't they? Yeah. But it's about 15, maybe 15 quid.
Yeah, it would be about that.
Don't quote me on that.
No, they're about that. The maps are about 15. Yeah, they're about that.
And but I find them fine. I've got the ones for the lakes as well.
Right.
They do them in sets. You can save a few quid. But I found them all right, you know, so far. Right. Yeah. And there's a little triangle as you're walking. Not absolutely perfect down to the foot or whatever.
Yeah. But they're close enough on your phone.
Yeah. The first time I came up here, me and my son used it and we were fine.
Right, okay. Yeah, so that's one way that you can do it, or I've got Outdoor Active, but the download that I downloaded must have, maybe they have an expiry date on them, but it wasn't there, so I had to log back in again and then re-download it. Luckily there's a signal here, so it was easy, you know, easy to do that. It took like 30 seconds. But that's just something to be aware. Make sure that your offline maps are on your phone if you're having to do this stupid subscription thing. You know, then just make sure that they're on your phone. So we're at the top of Broadley Bank Tor, and then we're going to be heading sort of parallel to Grinslow Knoll. And then the approximate plan, hopefully, is to try and get over to Seal Edge, but we'll kind of see how it goes. But we're going to obviously just check map and compass and phones and things and just figure out which way we're going, because I don't know which way we're going now. We've kind of got up here, so we're going to check that one out. We're walking along a fairly easy path. This is the tourist path now across the top. So you can't see anything because it's misty down there, but it's pretty steep and a long way down there. As you can see, you wouldn't want to go down that way. But the valley down there is Grinsbrook Clough. Clough is a name. Did there used to be a Mr. Clough around here? Because there's a ton of cloughs around here. Anyway, so we're going to be heading. This is approximately north, you know, give or take a few degrees, and then we're going to take a right-hand turn, and then we're going to head along the path that kind of just stays on the top. So we're not going to go down Grinsbrook Clough, we're just going to stay on the top, and we're going to try and find Patrick Robinson's famous 5-minute crossing, or is it a 6-minute crossing, or as you get older, Patrick, does it become a half-hour crossing? But it's about 500 or 600 ish meters from this, the south side, over to the north side. It's not that far, so I'm hoping it's 1:05 I'm hoping that we get there to the start of the crossing about 2. If we could get there about 2, which I think is hopefully doable. We're walking quite we're walking quite slowly. Walking very slowly. So I'm hoping that we get there for about 2, and I think if we can get there about 2, then that'll give us 2 hours or upwards of 2 hours to cross, which shouldn't take that long, and then over to Sealstones. We're going to carry along here for a little bit more. Can't really show you any any views because you can't see anything. You know, at least the first time, at least my first visit here, I could see the Peak District. But I think we should be thankful it's not raining. There is possible drizzle forecast. I've looked at the mountain. I ought to show you that app actually, because it's actually quite good, and it gives you, you know, very, very detailed you know, weather reporting. But the forecast looks cold but not freezing, maybe like sort of between -1 and +3 degrees, something like that. Walking, I don't know what the temperature is at the moment, but walking, our fingers are doing okay. I haven't got gloves on at the moment. Rain is not really forecast for the next few days. Maybe some drizzle or something like that, 20% chance, but I think maybe we're coming up to that mushroom. We're coming up to this funny mushroom thing here. So I think Paul Messner will be out here sometime soon. Trying to cook it, put it on his frying pan, try and cook this ginormous mushroom. Sorry, sorry, Paul.
Broccoli,
yeah, a bit of broccoli. Yeah, and asparagus. Yes. There's your mushroom. Right, so we're just oh, hang on, I've come an awkward way. Okay, so if it was clear and sunny, you'd have, looks like a really nice view of a valley down there. I quite like looking down that valley. Anyway, we'll carry on up this valley here. Yeah, so you've got quite a nice valley down there. It's clear enough, almost. Looks like a little bit of a pool of water down there. You can just see. Ooh. Look, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go up here. We're going to take a sharp left-hand turn and maybe walk on the path. Oops! Oh, crikey! On the other side. No wonder Patrick always walks up to a camera on a tripod and talks. It's a bit safer than talking into a camera. Actually, we might want to go, I think we want to go down that way. I think Lass is actually going the right way by accident. And then probably over there is my guess. That is a bit of a guess, but oh, bugger. All right, I'm going to put the camera away and come down here. There's a few steep, steppy bits here. They're pretty grippy though. They're pretty grippy. Yeah, oh, my legs just... Right, so we came down there, but there's a very narrow little section there, and there's an even narrower section there, and Chris was not comfortable with that, so he's coming down that way. I managed to just about get across there. It's not the easiest. I'm not going to film him. It's not the easiest, but there's a really big step there, and I just about managed to walk along the ridge there, so a smaller step just down there. The point that I'm trying to make is, if you're with someone, you know, always go at their pace, or make sure they go at your pace, and more importantly, don't ever do something that they're not comfortable doing. So, you know, give them time to figure out what they're capable of doing. Don't push it. Okay, so we're still on the south side. We passed through a gate down there. We can't show you a view because we can't see the view, but it's probably quite spectacular down through there. It's probably just the valley down there, I expect, but there's some pretty stones up here. It's about 500 meters approximately to the 22nd crossing, which will probably take us about half an hour. Hopefully Patrick's been out with his road roller and rolled it flat, so there's a nice flat area to cross. It's only about 500 or so meters, you know, to cross. It's not really that far, so even if it's full of Dungeons and Dragons and pits and vipers and things, I'll be okay, because I'll leave Chris to deal with all of those. And Lassie and I will go on ahead. There's quite interesting little paths through here. You've got a little path through there, a little path through here, little paths everywhere. I got that 360 camera. I really must it's just so bloody lazy. Get that out and do a bit more filming with that. But there's some quite pretty stones through here. Another thing that I do notice, which is kind of good, you know, given, I mean, it's a shame so many people come up here, because it's definitely a bit of a, you know, it's definitely a bit of a tourist trap up here. Well, a walking trap, you know, for walking around on the edge like this. I suppose it's because there's a lot of rock here that helps, but to me the erosion is minimal, really. You know, some places it's you know, where it's soft, the erosion is more, but generally, you know, given how many thousands of people, there must be quite a lot of people that come through here in the summer months. And even, you know, even today in this mist, I didn't think we'd see anyone up here, but we've seen, I mean, not exactly many, but, you know, we've probably seen 10, 15 maximum people wandering around up here, mostly couples or, you know, sort of couple of lads, or 3 lads walking. Oh, this has found some bit of old heather to play with. It's like her energy just, she never seems to run out of energy. Let's see. Oh dear. Alright, well, I'm going to check the map again in a minute, because it's probably getting to the point where we need to cross over. I'm going to cross over to the other side in a minute. You see, there's here, like here, there's a bit of erosion, like here, but that's only because there's like peat and, you know, less rocks and things like that. But even there, it's not. I mean, assumably the peat was probably at one time, you know, kind of like up there, and we're down here, so it's clearly eroded, clearly eroded a bit there. But you know, apart from those areas, you see here we're down in an eroded peat area. So these areas, ooh, hang on, we'll have to, hang on, ooh, oops, ooh, I'm sorry, I'm still standing up. Ooh, that's right, I think we can get through there. You might also want to, I don't know what it's like just over there, that's the only thing. There's a path literally where you're standing there. Is it better? So we're gonna, oh, there's an even better path just over there. So it's not always easy to know exactly which path you're on. I must admit, when it comes to path finding, I'm probably the absolute worst when it comes to staying on paths. Okay, alright, we'll just get down here and then we'll stop and, oh god, another big step down there. I don't like these big steps anymore. Oh Christ, oh my legs, oh, I'm just not as bendy and bouncy as I used to be. Oh, I missed the, oh flaming fuck. I missed the 30-year-old me, I have to say. Oh god, I'm sure oh, I'm sure I bent my, I'm sure it's more bent there. Oh god. Oh. I'm gonna have a look. We've probably got to cross over in a minute. Okay, well, so we're on the 25-minute 2 seconds crossing here. There was a part of a path, and then there's not really a path, and then you find a bit of a path, and so you kind of just got to follow your nose, really. Just really keep half an eye on the compass. There's a path coming through here, so I'm guessing that, and that is north. I've got the red arrow there on the Garmin that's pointing. That arrow always points north, so when you want to be walking north, that's it's a very useful arrow to be following, because that's like just literally a north pointer. But we've definitely found a bit of a path here. Once again, thanks to Chris saying let's just walk on just a little bit further, because I was just about ready to start marching across over there, and he said we'll just walk another 2 minutes, and then we saw this path this way, so that's kind of useful. So it's not too bad actually here. I mean, whether whether you can ever find this path ever again, I don't know. It might literally be you find this path once and then you never see it ever again. We'll have to see whether it goes all the way. Are you going all the way? Going all the way, the actress to the bishop. And you're going to get into trouble. All your subscribers are going to go away. Oh my goodness, hang on, there's a... I think we're going to have to go, because I'm guessing the path goes somewhere through there, somewhere through that valley. So I think I'm going to go down through this heather, I think. Okay. Not very easy to film. Okay, I'm still filming. Alright, let's go down here. Ooh. I don't mind walking on heather because it's quite, it's quite grippy. You just got to be careful. I don't like these big drop-offs now. These I don't like. These make me a little bit nervous now. Okay. Alright, so we're down here, so we'll keep heading on. I'm not sure now if this is the path we're on or if we've now come off the path and this is just part of a ravine that's going through here. Patrick! We're lost. Which way do we go? Yeah. Alright, well we'll carry on this way. It's only about 500 meters, so it's really not that far. We must have done half of it already. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oop. Oh. It's a bit like the top of the moon, isn't it?
I've never been.
No, well, no. I was there last week. I went to the moon last week. In my dreams. Look at this. This is a look at this. Leave nothing but footprints. E. Oh God. Oh well, at least we're not sinking in too much. Oh. Alright, let's go over this way. I was probably going to get very wet through there. Alright, I reckon the path goes maybe over there.
It's the path I don't think it is.
It's a naturally occurring, well, there are footprints on it though in places.
That is, yeah, that is true.
I mean, it's probably not an official path, but it's definitely something that you can follow, and it's, let's just have another check of that. And it's still, we're still going north, which is about what we want to be doing. We've not had very much luck with finding camping spots. We've seen a couple that are possible, but there's just no water up here. We've crossed several areas where water is shown on the map and it's not on the ground. It shows how dry a summer it has been. So we almost decided to go head back, but we kind of thought, well, we're not a million miles from Fairbrook Naze and the waterfall. The waterfall is about 800 meters, so nearly a kilometer, and the Fairbrook Naze is maybe about half of a kilometer beyond that. I think it will be dark by the time we get there, but as long as we can find some water, because we really do need, I've got about 600 ml on me and Chris has got just under a litre, but we really could do with more water than that for the night. So we kind of decided that we better just keep going. We've got head torches, so, and the paths along here are pretty, you know, pretty clear, so, whoops, just a bit muddy in places. So yes, a little bit more of a challenge on this side. But I am surprised at the lack of water up here. I'm sure those that come here more often probably have a better idea as to where they're going and where they're going to get water from. But anyway, it's just gone 4, so that means the sun set about 5 minutes ago. So we've got about half an hour of twilight, and then it'll be dark. We've got the head torches, so, and there is a path that takes us around to Fairbrook Naze, and we know that people are camped there, so hopefully if we can get water at the waterfall before, carry that a few hundred meters, and then hopefully find somewhere at Fairbrook Naze area. But it's really, it is quite difficult to find camping spots up here, because you're on the plateau, and if you go, you know, inland, well, first of all, I think you'd need to have water with you, because I doubt there's very much water inland. And then it really is just pot luck as to whether you would find somewhere. Again, I think Patrick knows of a place right smack bang in the middle, but the chances of the average person like us finding it, and quite rightly so, is slim, to say the least. So we're going to have to go on, hopefully, and not lose the path. I'm not sure if I'm on a path or not. Maybe the path goes around there. All right, well, we'll catch up a little bit later. We're going to keep going. Oh no, the path goes through here. It's okay. Well, good morning everybody.